Welcome into your PFF prospect profile. Today it's all about Boise State linebacker Leighton Vander Esch, a guy who, Sam, had a breakout season in 2017, really came out of nowhere, started the season well, but it just got better and better and better. And I love a guy that could be a good three-down, all-around linebacker, and that's what Vander Esch brings to the table.
Yeah, and he's a fascinating prospect because he isn't very young like some of these other top linebackers. Tremaine Edmonds, 19 years old. Roquan Smith, 20 years old. Vander Esch is a couple of years older than that, but from an experience point of view, from a playing time point of view, he's an extremely young prospect. Less playing time than either of those two guys at Boise State. So he has the same kind of development potential as well because he just hasn't got that much experience playing.
Yeah, so with linebackers, we always talk about coverage being the most important thing. We'll get there in a second. We have to start with his run-stopping ability, even if it is less important than the ability to patrol the middle of the field. He was just all over the place in the run game, led the nation in run-stop percentage, led in total defensive stops. Those are those tackles close to the line of scrimmage that essentially result in an offensive loss. So love what he does in the run game. Kind of old school linebackers, willing to take on blocks, get under offensive linemen and get in there and make plays. So at least from that point of view, he's adding a ton of value there before we even get into the coverage aspect.
And he's huge. He's 6'5", 260 pounds, put on muscle after the playing season because the NFL is a big boy league, Steve. So he needed to add some weight, become a big boy himself to play at the next level. I love that.
Bonus points for knowing what type of job you're getting into and preparing for the job interview, right? Is that what we're adding?
Yeah, I think so. But look, this is a guy that flows to the ball incredibly well. You don't like this comp, but I'm going to say it anyway. He reminds me a little bit of Luke Kuechly. Not the Luke Kuechly we see now, the All-Pro, the best linebacker in the game. Luke Kuechly's first year in the league, where he was still a fantastic run defender, could sift through traffic, make plays towards the line of scrimmage, even in coverage, anything in front of him, screens, quick flares, anything short, he was all over, but was a little bit more uncertain on things behind him, anything coming into a zone behind his back where he had to drop from the line of scrimmage, go backwards, he was a little bit less comfortable. I think that's what you see from Leighton Vander Esch, but that ability to fly forward, avoid all traffic and get in on the play is unrivaled in this draft class. He made 46 tackles in the run game this past season for a gain of 2 or fewer yards, the most in the nation at any position. I mean, that is a skill that you cannot teach.
It's unfair to compare anybody to Luke Kuechly, even if he did have a rookie season where he was a little out of position playing on the outside.
Luke Kuechly.
All right, rookie Luke Kuechly, who did not have that elite 90-plus grade in the PFF system. But what about Chad Greenway? We've had guys compare him to Chad Greenway, a guy from the Minnesota Vikings who flies around and makes a ton of tackles. I could see comparisons there as well. Don't put the Kuechly comp on him, though, because we saw what Kuechly's done. Unless you really think, is he going to become this elite all-around three-down linebacker?
Well, this is why it's so intriguing, because it's rookie Luke Kuechly who became so much better once he got a handle on playing coverage in behind him, all that kind of stuff. He developed from that point on. Leighton Vander Esch, one season of starting. Extremely young in his playing career. I don't know what his potential is. Maybe he can become that kind of player, or maybe we are at the top of his growth arc and he's not going to get any better than this, and he's just going to be a fantastic run defender, a guy who's okay, capable in coverage, but it's never going to be a strength. We don't know yet.
He was so good in this one year. 90.4 overall, reading straight from the PFF draft guide as part of Edge and Elite. If you guys have that package, 365 days of access. Run defense 88.8, as we said. Coverage was 86.2. And like you said, it was a lot of coming forward. A lot of the, when he has to get depth in zones, there were some ugly plays in there. But working downhill as a coverage defender and limiting yards after the catch, he did a fantastic job.
See, you're agreeing with my comp all the time.
I don't agree with your rookie year comparison of Luke Kuechly. I saw Luke Kuechly in college. He was running the seam in Tampa 2 and making plays down the field. He showed those high-level plays. I'm not sure Vander Esch has those.
For a guy who doesn't agree with the comp, you basically just described Luke Kuechly's rookie season.
I just don't want to get everybody's hopes up.
Why not?
Too high.
Guy's a talented linebacker. He's an incredible athlete, and he does a lot of what makes Luke Kuechly so good.
And we actually have him ranked above Tremaine Edmonds. So we have Roquan Smith, number 1, who we certainly say all around the best linebacker in the draft. There's a lot of question marks to Tremaine Edmonds' game as far as the run game goes, and the fact that he's got his own question marks in coverage as well, despite being that freak size and movement skills-wise. But we got Vander Esch in a similar range as Edmonds and even a step above. And I know you've done a lot of work on those guys. Do you like Vander Esch better than Edmonds, and why?
I think so. He's a much better player at this point. Don't listen to Steve. Get excited. This guy is a fantastic linebacker. And if somebody drafts him at the bottom of the first round, a talented team, New England, Pittsburgh, you are going to get yourself a star.
Maybe just set your expectations a little bit lower. But we still like Leighton Vander Esch, the number 2 linebacker on our board out of Boise State. That is your PFF prospect profile.